It was a warm summer evening on August 21st, 1955, in rural western Kentucky, just outside the small communities of Kelly and Hopkinsville. The Sutton family, a tight-knit group of farmers, lived in a modest, isolated farmhouse about 8 miles north of Hopkinsville. That night, they were hosting a friend, Billy Ray Taylor, a 21-year-old from Pennsylvania, who had come to visit with his wife. The household was bustling with 11 people in total. Billy Ray, his wife June, Glennie Langford, the Sutton family matriarch, her sons Elmer Lucky Sutton, who was 25, and John Charlie Jesse Sutton, who was 21 at the time, their wives Vera and Eileen, Glennie's daughter from a previous marriage, and 3 younger children. It was a typical night, until it wasn't. Around 7 p.m., Billy Ray stepped outside to fetch water from the well in the backyard. The Suttons didn't have running water, so this was routine. As he approached the well, he froze. Above him, the sky lit up with a brilliant streak of light. He later described it as a large, metallic, silver object with a rainbow-like exhaust trail descending silently into a gully about a city block away, roughly 300 to 400 yards from a house. Stunned, Billy Ray rushed back inside, bursting through the door with wide eyes and a frantic voice. "I just saw something land out there," he shouted, pointing toward the gully. The family laughed it off at first. Billy Ray was known to exaggerate, but his insistence gnawed at their skepticism. About an hour later, around 8 p.m., the family's dog began barking furiously outside. Lucky Sutton and Billy Ray grabbed their guns, a 20-gauge shotgun and a .22 rifle, respectively, and stepped onto the back porch to investigate. What they saw stopped them cold. In the dim moonlight, about 50 feet away, a small figure emerged from the shadows of the trees. It stood roughly 3 to 3.5 feet tall, humanoid in shape, with an oversized, round head and enormous, glowing yellow eyes that seemed to pierce the darkness. Its ears were long and pointed, and its arms stretched nearly to the ground, ending in claw-like hands with talons. The creature's skin, or perhaps its suit, shimmered with a metallic, silvery glow. It moved toward the house with an odd, floating gait, as if unaffected by gravity. Billy Ray didn't hesitate. He raised his rifle and fired. The shot rang out, and the creature flipped backward, tumbling into the brush. But it didn't stay down. Within moments, it popped back up, seemingly unharmed, and continued its eerie advance. Lucky fired his shotgun next, the blast echoing through the night. Again, the creature somersaulted backward, but sprang up once more unscathed. The men retreated inside, slamming the door behind them and shouting for the others to take cover. Panic gripped the household as more of these beings appeared. One clambered onto the roof, its talons scratching against the shingles. Another peered through a window, its glowing eyes locking onto Glennie Langford as she screamed. Billy Ray fired through the window screen, shattering glass, and the creature flipped away into the yard. Lucky ran to the back door, where another figure lurked, and shot at it point blank. The pellet struck with a metallic ping, like hitting a bucket, but the creature merely darted off into the darkness. For the next several hours, until nearly 3 a.m., the family endured a relentless siege. The creatures kept coming, moving with unnatural agility, sometimes floating or leaping to avoid the gunfire. The men fired over a dozen rounds, yet no blood or bodies were left behind. At one point, a claw reached through a window and grazed Lucky's hair. He responded by blasting the arm with his shotgun, only for the creature to vanish. The children sobbed in the corner, while the women huddled together, praying for dawn. Finally, in the early morning hours, the family saw an opening. The creature seemed to retreat, and the night grew still. Desperate, they piled into 2 cars and sped to the Hopkinsville police station, arriving around 2:30 a.m. The officers on duty, Chief Russell Greenwell among them, found the group in a state of genuine terror. Glenny was nearly hysterical, and the men were pale and trembling. "We've been shooting at little green men all night," Billy Ray blurted out. Skeptical but alarmed, the police organized a response. For city officers, 5 state troopers, 3 deputy sheriffs, and even a local newspaper photographer joined the Suttons and Taylors back at the farmhouse. When they arrived shortly after 3 a.m., the scene was eerie but quiet. No creatures were in sight, but the evidence of the night's chaos was undeniable. Bullet holes peppered the window screens and door frames. Shell casings littered the ground. The police noted the family's consistency. Every member, even the children, recounted the same details without hesitation. The officers searched the property, finding no bodies or blood. The one trooper reported seeing a strange glowing patch in the field near the gully that faded as he approached. By 5 a.m., with nothing more to investigate, the authorities left. As the sun rose, the family returned home, exhausted but relieved, until around 7 a.m., when Glenny spotted one of the creatures peering through a window again. The ordeal wasn't over, but the family was too drained to fight. They waited it out until the beings finally vanished for good. The Kelly-Hopkinsville Encounter remains one of the most detailed and corroborated cryptid cases in U.S. history. The Suttons and Taylors never sought fame or money. In fact, they faced ridicule and eventually abandoned the farmhouse. Investigators found no signs of alcohol or hoaxing, just a family shaken to their core. To this day, explanations range from misidentified owls, the great horned owl theory, to extraterrestrial visitors, but no consensus has emerged. What happened that night in Kentucky lingers as a chilling mystery, etched into the annals of American folklore.